Hi, this is Marla Ryan with HR Decision. Today I'm going to be showing you how to format your Excel sheets so it is as clean and easy to read in Power BI as possible. So we're going to start with the age group Excel sheet, and that one is already open. And in column in column A, you could see that it's called Employee ID, EE_ID, and it has all the employee IDs in there. You have to make sure there's no duplicates in there, so use your conditional formatting to highlight it as red. If it is duplicated, get rid of it because we're going to use your employee ID, column A, as the key identifier. So make sure that this is clean and always labeled EE_ID or whatever you choose your employee ID label to be. Our column B is our age group. I've already brought it in as the separated age groups. And again, it's called age group. It's quite easy to read and it's easily identifiable as to what it is. And at the bottom at the tab is called age group as well. And this is very important. You want to make sure that it's labeled age_group or something like that that's very similar to the top header of the column. And this one will really be the labels at the bottom tab that shows you in Power BI the labeling of what you're actually working with. So this is really important, but these are also really important. So you want to make sure that if sometimes Excel brings something in and you have to convert it to a number, you'll have to right click to format the Excel. Just make sure that it's consistent and always formatted the same. And this is formatted in general, that's okay. And this number is also too for the age group formatted in general, and that's okay too. So this is looking clean, so all we want to do is we want to highlight that. We want to highlight all of our employees, and we want to go to Format as Table, and we're going to format it as this first table. And you're going to hit OK, and that's it. And then you're going to hit Save As. And we're going to save it now in our formatted folder. And one last thing, you could see that there are a lot more than 500 employees in here. I'm bringing all of our employees in, whether they are terminated or not. And this simplifies the whole process of really drilling down meeting to your data. So don't worry about separating out the active employees from the term employees. You don't want to do that. That just creates more work for you. So let's continue on to our next unformatted sheet. And now we're going on to the business unit. And again, this is EE_ID. So this is fine. I've already checked if there are any duplicates. And if there are duplicates, it'll show up red. So that's great. I have the top label as department and then the job title. And then also too, you could see at the very bottom, I named it BU. And that stands for business unit. And that's really gonna also tell me our container and Power BI. So everything looks fine. There are no blanks or anything. I went through it. Everything is pretty consistent. If you don't have consistent data, you need to stop and get consistent data. So garbage in, garbage out. And then we format that again. And we're gonna hit Save As. And we're gonna go into our foundational formatted folder and we're gonna hit Save. And then we're going to go on to our employee hire and term dates. Now, a lot of Power BI tutorials I've seen have separated out like active employees from term employees, and you have to label those. That just creates more work for you and lessens the power of Power BI. So at this point, column A again is employee underscore ID. Are you seeing that it's the same all the way through column A? Okay, because that's the one that's going to hook up one to another, your Excel sheets. And then we have column B, we have hire date. And then in column C, we have term date. Now you could see that there's a lot of blanks in column C, and there's some dates that are here for the term date. So these are termed employees, so we're gonna mix them the same. So that these blanks, that's okay. We're gonna work with that in Power BI, and we're gonna tell it that if there's a blank, then these are active employees. So we want to verify that this is formatted general. Yes, it is. This is formatted as date. That is what we want. And then again, this is formatted, well, this is formatted as general and then date. So when we're bringing this into Power BI, we also too can clean this up. So far, don't worry about too much. As we import this, we might run into some technical issues, but that's the fun part, that we can clean it up together. So again, we highlight everything and we format as table. Okay, and just kind of keep in mind, here's a metaphor you can use, you can't eat unless your table's ready. So again, you have to format as a table. Power BI likes that better. And we want to go on and we want to save to foundational formatting. And here we go. All right, now we're going to move on to ethnicity. And you can see that column A has EE underscore ID, which is how we want it. We have ethnicity, and we have all the ethnicities according to the EEOC. And then we have our ethnicity tab label identified. Again, so we have all 3 items identified, and we've already have decided that there are no duplicates. We're going to format everything, and we're going to select it at format as table. Again, you can't eat until your table is ready. And we're going to go File, Save As. And we're going to save it to our formatted folder. And next we're going to go into gender. And you can move on to the next video if you already understand the formatting part of this tutorial. But I'm going to keep going and doing this step by step, because a lot of you out there, this is the intro to using your data from an HR perspective and using Power BI with it. So again, employee ID, the gender, and again, we're including everybody in our company, whether they're terminated or active. And we're going to select everybody. And we've already identified that our column A, B, and our tab area have the proper labels, and they're clear and easy to read and identify what content, what data we are working with. So we format as table, and then we save as. Always checking for consistent formatting. So we check to make sure that this was formatted as general, and we check to make sure that this was formatted as general as well. We have job classification. And again, the employee ID, EE_ID, matches all of our key identifiers. The column B, job classification, and the tab, job classification. So we know exactly what we're working with. There are no duplicates. We highlight everything after we made sure that column A is and column B are general. Power BI is pretty smart. It often will convert your data into the proper format as well. So it really kind of helps you out to set you up for success. So when in doubt, just pick general and let Power BI decide. And if it doesn't work, then you know it has to be changed to a different format. And we hit save. And the last one we're going to use is manager ID. So you have employee ID, and now we have manager_ID. So MNG_ID, and I also too have the tab as MNG_ID. We made sure that this is general, and I don't bring in any names or very limited any information. It really helps not only to comply with the new personal identification laws and privacy acts that are in place, but also in the end, it really helps limit your bias and make for better business decisions. So the PPI Act is actually a pretty good thing. And we're going to go in Manager ID, and we're going to save. Okay, so now we have all of our Excel sheets or for our foundational headcount ready to start importing into Power BI. And that's what we're going to be doing next. See you in the next video.